we're joined by a good friend of the show, David Malukas. David, welcome back. We're at the Indy 500 and Fast Friday, so kind of give us your brief thoughts of kind of your week so far, and we've got the boost going up this afternoon, so how much are you looking forward to that?
I'm very much looking forward to it. The car is spectacular. I mean, race running that we did was so quick. I mean, we were just going through the pack. And also we did some Q-sims yesterday, and again, we found some 2.23s up on the board and still being conservative with a lot of stuff. So, I mean, it's feeling good. It's feeling strong. It definitely is a really good opportunity right now to be there. But again, we kind of need to hold on. You know, we don't want to be fighting so hard to try to get that pole, and next thing you know, you end up for a crash. You've ruined your car. So it's it's all of a balance of, hey, we got to balance our, egos of trying to go for that compared to, okay, let's just make sure that we can secure a top 10 because we can win the 500 from there.
How much did you kind of learn in qualifying trim before the boost goes up? I'm kind of intrigued because obviously the boost is a lot extra. I'm pretty looking forward to kind of seeing the cars going at those speeds as well. But do you learn much before that goes up, or does the balance kind of shift too much?
The balance shifts, but, these engineers, they've done it for a large period of their time. They know what the downforce gain is. And actually, before you do the boost, when you put everything in its trim step, whatever you feel, it's actually going to be easier when you put the speed up. It's hard to think about. Obviously, there's some driving technique to it. When you're going that much quicker, you tend to turn in earlier because you're just pooping your pants because it's just going really fast. But as long as you stay, on the outside lane, you churn in later and don't make the curve of the corner too tight, it should be easier than what we just experienced. And as long as you have that, I mean, it's going to be better. So we actually learned a lot. For us, it was a little bit on edge, but now we know, okay, we're going to be going faster, a little bit more downforce. It should come to us. But you can learn a lot. And it also helps ease the driver's minds. You don't want to go straight into qualifying boost, qualifying everything, because it's a challenge. This is the hardest days coming up. These next few days, hardest days of the whole year.
And obviously your start to the year has been extremely consistent. I know that wasn't, especially on kind of race day, necessarily a staple of your year last year. So I guess in this kind of start of the first year with Penske, is there any way you've maybe differently approached weekends, or just generally kind of how have you managed to gain that platform of real consistency at the start of this season?
It just goes off of preseason. At Penske, they have so many resources that I have at my disposal that any overthinking I do, and I wake up in the middle of the night, the amount of times I wake up in the middle of the night having some stupid thought, but thinking this is going to be make it or break it. I write all of it down, and in the morning I send it to the engineers over there, and they give me all the answers. Most of the time they're like, you're like losing your mind, there's nothing there. And sometimes they'll be like, okay, yeah, you could try this or something, but it helps clear my mind so that when I actually go to the track, I feel at ease. And that's been the situation from the beginning of the season throughout all of these races. I come into it having my worries, but they give me all the answers, and I'm like, oh, okay, so the car's good. I feel confident. I know what I need to do, so let's go get it done. And I think that's been showing here clearly. We've had this consistency. Now we need to get across that finish line. Hopefully the first one across the finish line, because it's been tough.
And I know you've kind of probably been asked to no end about kind of pressure of this, but I'm intrigued because you kind of always speak about how this is like a dream come true. So how do you kind of go about, living out that dream, but not becoming kind of overawed by the dream and kind of actually embracing that instead? Just kind of talk a bit about the psychology of that.
Well, I mean, now being here at Team Penske, I can truly see, these first few races, we've come on to a very good start. Things are looking good, and now I feel very comfortable and confident that, okay, we have an opportunity to get a lot of wins here, but we need to get across that finish line. And, for me, trying to manage that, it's been hard because, I keep having these moments anytime I'm sitting in the grid. Even yesterday, you start dreaming about winning the Indy 500, all these things. Or even the last race, the Indy GP, I'm like, while I'm driving, I'm thinking about, okay, we're about to get this first win, across the line, and it's still not over, and still a lot of race left, and we ended up not getting it. But I think it's just telling myself, like, everything happens for a reason. I'm going to keep pushing and getting that drive. And I look back at NGP, okay, we didn't have the setup, we started losing pace towards the end there, but we didn't get that win. But I think it happened for a reason. We want to keep that drive going. We're going into the Indy 500. We want to keep this momentum. We want to get that win. And how special would it be to get that first win at the Indy 500?
And obviously going into this 500, maybe there is a bit more pressure with you being with Team Penske. And we look back to last year, AJ Foyt Racing, you come second. That's seen as a pretty big overachievement considering the results of recent years. So kind of, how do you manage that expectation when suddenly the expectation is now for you and the team to win, as opposed to previously it's about learning and trying to get maybe a bigger result for a smaller operation?
Well, I think the pressure stays the same just because I have that own pressure on myself that I always want to win. I always want to be there. I think now just we having that team pressure, it's interesting because I don't know, for the first time ever, I actually feel so calm going into the 500. I think knowing that I have good material and everything that I need to get this win done behind me, I think it brings my confidence up. And now it comes down to more of, hey, it just has to come down to hopefully this track chooses me as its winner, because at the end of the day, it is a lot about that. You can have everything go your way, but right at the death, the Indy 500 could say, no, we're not going to choose you this time. So as long as it chooses me, and we'll be there. If not, we go at it again next season, and we're going to keep pushing all with the same energy and same push.
And are there many lessons you learned from kind of being in that fight for the win last year that you feel like you can apply this year, or maybe more generally, like what are the lessons you've learned since you first drove here, and kind of just chart that development that you've had at Indy across the years so far?
I would say in the beginning years when I was a rookie, what was massive for me that I learned so much was just the pace change going into the race. Like, nobody ever really told me. You hear some people say it, but it is massive. Even at the practice sessions, we are racing so much faster than we are when it comes to the race, because everybody's trying to save fuel. Everybody wants to be there at the end. And you don't have that when we're just going out there full beans, pushing it, going, doing these toe laps of 228, 227. And then you go into qualifying again, it's so fast. You got the boost. So everything leading up to the Indy 500, it's just you're going so fast. But then you go to the 500, it's this big pace drop. So that was a big learning curve for me. My first 2 years in the Indy 500 was trying to get used to that pace drop. But then as of more recently, it's been going into that last stint, right? From last year, I've never been able to be fighting for the win at the end of an Indy 500, and after experiencing last year, it's a completely different race. It's a different ball game, very different from the rest of it, and I'm going to take all of that learning that I've done going into this season, because I've watched that tape over and over again. What could have I done differently? It's been haunting me ever since. So now I know, okay, this is what not to do, and this is what we're going to strive to do. Obviously, it's going to be hard. Things might be playing out differently, but I have a lot more knowledge going into it.
If we look back 2 years ago, you were here at the track making content for IndyCar socials, and here you are today racing for one of the biggest teams in motorsport in Team Penske. So after that year out where maybe you didn't know where your future would be, even if you'd race an IndyCar or this great race again, kind of how did your appreciation for the Indy 500 kind of grow after that year out?
It was massive. I haven't been at the Indy 500 as a spectator since I was a kid. So to come there as, a fan and experience it, what makes it so special, there's so much that you don't get and pick up off as when you're in the car. And that was just the energy of over 350,000 people screaming in unison or cheering. It's literally this place is huge. This facility is massive, and it's shaking the entire facility. I mean, it's outrageous. I've never had an experience like that, and to me, it literally gave me goosebumps. I almost started getting tears in my eyes. I'm like, wow, this is why this race is so special. This is why people always come back every single year. There is an experience like it, and for me in the car, obviously it's a different experience, but you never felt that energy because, there's an engine about right behind me. I could feel the vibrations. I could feel the vibration of the stand or hear the people. And that was a very different experience. And I felt very grateful to actually have that opportunity to be there as a fan. And for me, it was my favorite Indy 500 because I wasn't stressed out of my mind. I'm not stressing out, and I was able to experience everything and just have a couple of glizzies, have a cheeseburger, and just really truly live that Indy 500 feeling. And I even went to the snake pit at 8 a.m. in the morning, so had a good wake-up call. I experienced all of it, but it was a good time.
I like that you mentioned kind of your first time being there as a kid, and although we're kind of decidedly older than a kid, we're kind of that kid this year being here for the first time. So what do you remember of that first time you ever came here as a kid? And then I guess just how that appreciation grew over the years as you became a driver as well.
Well, actually, as a kid, I was a little bit of a complainer, and I didn't really like it because it was so loud. I remember I was just crying because my ears were in pain. But that was the only thing I could remember, really. And then obviously the food. But as a kid, for me, it was, I was like, I just want to go home and play with my Hot Wheels, just do it myself. But growing up, though, now, being older, it truly is a special experience. I mean, there's so much that you can do here, even during the race. I went up and watched Turn 1 and 2, and then I came back down, went to the media center, was looking at different screens, listening on the radio, seeing different strategies, trying to figure out what strategies people are going to play, who's going to be at the end. I was there with my friend betting who's going to be in the battle in the end. It's so much fun. And then those last 20 laps, I mean, everybody's standing. As soon as they cross the line, everybody starts screaming. It's last lap. Everybody's like, whoa. I mean, it was so much. I didn't know what to do. I remember I was out here at the media center, and I was just sprinting back and forth on the balcony. I'm like, what's going on? Where are we going? Why are we screaming? Oh my gosh! Like, I just had so much energy from it. And I remember watching that line. That was when Joseph ended up winning it, and then we were right there. We wanted to stay at the media center because we wanted to be at the victory podium, and it was special, man. It was so cool to see all of that come true and happen. It was awesome.
And we get on really well with Mike Marini, who you obviously know pretty well. I bumped into him yesterday on pit lane and told him we were speaking to you, and he said that we need to ask you about him. So I guess kind of actually a serious question on that. Like, how cool is that? Obviously, you've kind of been with him from very, very early in your development. He's now up there spotting for you. So what's that relationship like? And what's it like having someone like him, I guess, in your ear very constantly at a place like this?
Well, actually, I mean, we go way back to even karting days, man. I can't believe how far of a journey it's been. And I think it goes to show how everybody kind of follows the generational runs. You know, you go through the karting, and then next thing you know, everybody is in IndyCar. And I even see a lot of other people in karting in these IndyCar teams. But talking with Mike, it's been fantastic to have him by my side throughout all these years. You know, we both had our own dreams to be where we wanted to be, and our dream place, you know, ended up being the same place, which was Team Penske. And I think having him by my side has been the perfect person that I needed, because we both have that energy, that discipline, that motivation to achieve what we want to do. And both of us working together, I mean, who else would you want by your side than the man that's going to be trying his absolute hardest, 110%, to be where he wants to be? And luckily, he wants to be exactly where I want to be, and that's winning championships, Indy 500 with Team Penske.
So, David, we see Indy 500 winners do tours around New York City. We saw Pelot doing in Barcelona last year. If you won the Indy 500, would you do a media tour around Grimsby?
Yeah, let's do it around Grimsby. That would be awesome. I wonder if anybody would even know who I am. They'd be like, who is what is going on? Yes, I want to get my memories back of Grimsby. I actually did a GeoGuessr game with my friends from England, and I beat them when it came to the town of Grimsby. I actually got all of them right. So it's my memory of Grimsby.
And everyone will want to know, Dorking won just manager left by mutual consent earlier this year. We haven't heard any more updates about him. It doesn't sound like he's coming back. So what's he doing with his spare time?
He's going to go and try the Indy 500 for himself. He's trying to do the Indy 500, and we'll see. Maybe post Indy 500, he'll come back and come knocking on the Dorking Wanderers door and say, hey, can I come back and continue this journey?
Before we finish, we have a special surprise.
No way! Are you kidding me? Dorking till I die. Did you make this out?
We got it from the Dorking
Are you
store.
serious?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, no way. Oh, thank you guys. Oh, we gotta show the camera. Hold on. Look at that. Dorking till I die. That is awesome.
So that is for you to keep to commemorate.
Thank you guys. Hey, and
greatness of
obviously
Dorking.
welcome to the 500.
Thank you.